Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Tennessee Liquid. On today's episode, we'll be painting Catwoman, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, in the 1992 Batman Returns movie. So without further ado, let's jump on into that video. This model was designed by My Custom Models over on the Patreon page. For $7.50 a month, you get 2 full models and all kinds of cool stuff. So when you are done here, head on over there and become a Patreon and start your model painting adventure off on the right foot. To start off with, you want to start by primering the new parts. Now, I didn't show me primering all the parts, but you'll just have to take my word that I primered all the parts. But I wanted to show this piece because it's pretty cool, and I may actually just print me another one and paint it and just set it on my shelf somewhere because I like it.
Meow.
Now you want your base to be kind of a dirty concrete color. So to start off with, I started off with a cool gray. Now this doesn't really look like gray to me, it's more kind of an almond color, but you want to spray this over everything really good. And if you notice, I do have a few runs in it, but that just adds to the look, and it doesn't really show when you get to other paints because you still got to paint it a couple more times. So don't worry if you get a couple runs in it. And after that gets good and dry, you come back with a black wash. Now I used one of these little cool makeup sponges that you can pick up at Walmart or a dollar store or whatever. And you just want to take this and just splotch it all over and rub it and put it everywhere you want to put it. And it just, there's no rhyme or reason how you put this on and where you put this on. You just don't want it to be a solid color. And the marks that are left by the sponges just make it look even better when you get done. So just go ahead and go crazy with it and get creative. And after that dries, you want to come back with a brown Pentaline wash. Now Pentaline wash is a enamel paint, but it's really super thin, and you want to take your sponge brush, the same one you done your black with, your wash, and rub this on. You don't want to just spot it, you just want to rub it everywhere, and it adds more of a brownish dirty look to it. And it doesn't really look like concrete right now, but you just have to trust the process and just keep on going with it. And one more thing, make sure that you get all the light gray spots covered up around the edges of everything with the brown, because if you don't, it's just going to stand out. And now it's time for a little dry brushing. I picked these e.l.f. makeup brushes up from the local dollar store, or you can get them from Walmart, or if your wife's got them and you can get away with it, you can get them from there as well. Just don't tell her. And these make really good dry brushes. And for some reason, I just decided to switch parts on you, but you do them the exact same. You want to take your big brush and hit a lot of your high spots and your edges. And to get in the little nooks and crannies and the crevasses, I guess you could call them, you want to use this little one. And you want to just dry brush the daylights out of this thing and put little light spots all over it. And here's what they should look like put together. See, they look more like concrete now, but you want to take it just a little extra step further and do just a little bit more tanning on it to make it look like dirty concrete. Now I took some smoke brown and you turn your compressor down to about 5 to 10 pounds, and you want to thin this down pretty thin, and you just want to speckle the paint everywhere. And while you're speckling the paint, it also mist the brown just very lightly over the deck tan and gives it just a little bit better dirty look. And when all that's done, you are now done with the concrete and ready to move on to your next step. Now, she had these giant cats around her feet. Well, I wouldn't say giant. They're normal size for cats for this size model. But anyway, they needed to have whiskers because they look funny without whiskers. And I have a piece of glass that is on my desk, and I like having glass because you can scratch stuff off of it. And to make the whiskers, I just took an old paintbrush. These are one of them old cheap old paintbrushes. You can get these just about anywhere. And you want to pluck off just a couple strands, not too many, and it doesn't really matter about the length because you're just going to cut them off. And you take and just cut these off with your snippers. And after you cut them off, you want them to kind of look like this. See, not too many. That looks like whiskers already, right? And you want to cut them off so they're square on the end because you don't want them just going all over the cat's face, because this is where it connects to the nose, you know, like a normal cat. And then you take your super glue. Now I use this kind of super glue because it's got a agent that goes with it that cures it instantly. It's actually called Insta-Cure, oddly enough. And this is where the glass would come in. You just put a little dot of super glue on your glass and you dip your whiskers in it. And then you want to take this awesome tool that you can't just find these anywhere, but they're toothpicks. And you want to take your toothpick and dip it down in there and kind of smudge your super glue around on your whiskers, just to make sure you get the complete ends of them covered. And then you take your Insta-Set stuff here and you just spray it, and then whoosh, there it is, cured instantly. It's like magic. This stuff's awesome. I use it for everything. And when you get that done, you want to make sure they're good and flat. So mine was a little not flat. So I took some needle nose pliers and put them in there on the back side of the jaw where there's no teeth on your pliers. And I just mashed the daylights out of this thing. Mash it as hard as you can because you want it flat. And after it's done, you have a whisker. Just make sure that you do 2 of them. You have to do 2 of them because the cat's got 2 whiskers. And now it's time to put them on your cat. So you want to take them and dip them in super glue and stick them straight to the cat. You don't want to go completely up against the nose because they're not nose hairs, they're whiskers. So you want to go beside the nose just a little bit. And if you look on your model, you can see kind of where they should be and just put them there. And then when you get them super glued, take you some of the Insta-Set. If you can come up with another hand to help you, just take your Insta-Set and spray it on there, and then you have a whisker on your cat. And when you get them both on there, then you take your clippers and scissors or whatever you got to cut them with, toenail clippers or whatever, anything will work. And you want to cut them to the same length. Now cats don't always have the same whiskers. And I did come back with these and cut them different lengths because it looked a little funny. It looked more like a mustache than whiskers. So you want to cut them different lengths and spread them out just a little bit and flare them out to make them look more like whiskers that are standing up. And this is the part where the glass comes in handy. Now the super glue that you had, you just spray a little Insta-Set on that and let it cure just a second. And then take your hobby knife and you scrape it right off. And then voila, it's gone. No worries. Time to move on. And I like using the glass on top of my desk because if you spill paint or super glue or putty or anything, you can just rub it right off, or you can scrape it right off and nothing sticks to it. This stuff's awesome. So if you don't have a piece of glass, you might want to check into getting you one and put it on your desk. Moving on to the fur on the cat. Now, I've seen this done on a model car before, and I thought I would try it on this cat. Be a perfect thing for it. Instead of painting it, I wanted it to look kind of like velvet. So I done some research and I come up with how to do this. And you want to use flocking powder. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like ground up felt that is really fine, and this stuff gets everywhere, but it makes it look pretty cool. And you will need a couple of items to do this thing with. You need a bowl to start off with. I use a smaller bowl, but time I got done with it, I wished I'd have got a bigger one. But you want a bowl to catch this stuff in, because like I said earlier, this stuff gets everywhere. Now, this next little gadget, I had no clue what this thing's called, but my wife uses it to make tea with, and I stole it from her to do this with, and hopefully I can get it cleaned up and back to her before she misses it. And I had to Google this thing. It is called a tea strainer if you're just looking for one. And then you want to get a spoon or something to dip it out with. And then I got a popsicle stick. And I just had these laying around for some reason, but I'm going to use this to glue my cat to so I can hold on to it. And then you want to take some clear Elmer's glue. Now, this stuff is what the kids use at school, so just go buy your stuff. This stuff's not expensive. And you get you a cheap brush from the dollar store. And I'm like the rest of the stuff, I don't know where I acquired this from, but I have it. And it's super long for some reason. And the last thing is the flocking powder itself. Now, I bought this big old bag off of Amazon, and it was like $10 or something, and it's enough to do probably 50 cats. It's a lot. So just buy your bag, and know you can probably not going to use all of it. And here's what it looks like on the tip of your finger. It's just really dusty and fine. Oh, and one last thing, always wear a mask when you're doing this, because once you get to doing it, you will understand why you need a mask. This stuff gets everywhere. Have I mentioned it gets everywhere before? This stuff gets everywhere. To start off with, you put a little extra in a bowl with your spoon, and you want to pour, this is where your glass comes in handy again, pour you some glue out on the glass. And it doesn't really matter how much, just pour you some in, because you've got an entire jug full of it, and why not? You want to take your cheap paintbrush and just paint this stuff wherever you want your flocking powder to stick to. And you want to make it pretty thick, because this stuff dries fairly decently quick, and you don't want it to dry before you can get your powder on it. And then you want to take your powder that is in your strainer and you want to shake it, you know, kind of like a salt shaker. Right. Now, when you get all this done, you want to repeat the process for the entire cat. So I just jumped ahead to where I had all the cat finished, and you can see the finished product. Now, when you go back, you might have light spots. So you want to go back and add just a little bit of glue, and then just keep adding the powder till that light spot goes away. And once you get that done, you want to gently peck it on the side of your bowl and get all the excess that is not attached to the glue off, and then you have it done. And there's your furry little feline ready to go. You just got one more.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
Now it's time to paint the cat lady herself. You want to start off by painting her gloves and her boots. Now, these didn't have any skin, so I just painted them black. And you ask why I painted them black. when they're already primered? Well, see, there's just a little bit of difference, which I did use a gloss black, and I will come back and gloss them later. Now, as far as the skin tone, I'm going to scoot through this pretty quickly because she didn't have a whole lot of skin. She had her face and a few places on her shoulders and a few places on her legs. But if you want to know how I done this, just refer back to one of my earlier videos, and that also gives you a reason to go back and check out some of my earlier videos. And don't forget to like and share if you do, and leave me a comment. For now, just sit back and watch the video and enjoy some music. Setting all that aside, it's time to move on to her corset. Now, her corset is the only thing on her body that is not shiny, so you just leave this the flat primer color. And really the only things you have to do on this is, if you've ever watched the movie, Catwoman's seen some stuff and she done some stuff, and her suit got tore and ripped, and along the way she had to patch it and mend it. And she's got these little stitches, these little white stitches all over her body. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, these took a while because there's a bunch of them. If you don't like making little bitty slashes and lines, then this is gonna be rough for you. But it wasn't too bad. You just have to take your time and just do it. And sometimes your eyes will get crossed and you just have to look back at the wall and refocus and go again. By the time you get to the end of it, it's well worth it because these things look pretty cool on her suit. When you get that done, you want to flip it over. And a corset, if you've ever seen them, has a drawstring in the back, kind of laced up like a tennis shoe. And on the side of each one of these holes is a ring or an eye, or I don't really know what you call those things, but they're there. And your string goes through them so you can pull. And they need to be metal, so I painted them a silver color. And finally, at the end, to bust up some of the black on her corset, I felt like if she did get a rip or a tear, the only clothing that she would have to mend this would be the latex that her other clothes is made out of. So I come back with a gloss clear and painted all these patches that she would have put on her suit a gloss clear. And that kind of helped busted up some of the look of the flat black to gloss black. And I think it comes out really good. And after your skin tone dries, you want to come back with some Krylon crystal clear out of a rattle can and put that on all of your skin surfaces because you're fixing to put some liquid mask on it. because now it's time to paint the black that is on her suit. And if you've never used liquid mask, this stuff's pretty neat. You just paint it on and it dries. It's pretty much like silicone, I think. But the one thing with it that I don't like is that it does leave a funny edge when you peel it off. So just keep that in mind, that you're gonna have to come back and touch it up. But this was the only way that I could think of to cover up the skin that is on her pants and stuff, because you can't mask that stuff. And after that gets good and dry, you come back with some Krylon out of a rattle can again, but this time you want to spray gloss. Now, I put 2 or 3 coats on this to make it really super shiny. And the good thing about latex is that you don't really need to put any shadow colors, because after you spray the clear coat on it, it kind of makes its own reflection and its own shadow. So you really don't have to do a whole lot to it. Just spray it and forget it and move on. And don't forget to spray the gloves and the boots too while you're at it, because they are also made of latex and they also need to be shiny. And then you can move on. And after your clear coat dries, and you need to let this stuff dry probably overnight, because this stuff takes a little while to dry. Then you want to come back in and peel your liquid mask off and trim around the edges of black where the mask could come off, because when you peel it off, it does leave an ugly line. But when it's down in the stitches, you can't really see it, but around her face and stuff, you need to touch it up. And then you get the fun task of, you guessed it, painting little lines. Now, she has these stitches, like I said before, all over her body, and she's got them on her legs and her top as well. So just settle in and get ready to paint some stripes. And through the awesome power of video editing, I'm going to jump straight to the end, because I didn't figure you would want to sit and watch me paint little stripes for an hour and a half. So I jumped straight to the end. And I also want to show you the top. Now, the top is done the exact same, and you have to paint these little lines all over it. But look at it. It makes it look awesome when you get done, and well worth the time and the eye crossed and the headaches to sit down and do it. So this thing turns out really cool looking at the end. And setting that aside, you want to move on to her hands. Now, every cat has got to have her claws. And I don't really know what these things are. In the movie, she just had them in a box. But I don't really know what they are or what they're used for. But they work on your fingers. And she had them put on her fingers, and you just want to paint these things chrome. Do you get that done? That's it. Her body's done. Now it's time to move on to the portrait.
How about a kiss, Santa Claus?
Now it's time to move on to the head. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on her hair, because she just didn't have that much. But I've used this color in a few of my models now, and I really like this color. It's a Basilisk Brown by Army Painter. And once you get everything painted, you want to come back in and put just a dry brush of deck tan on top of that, just to bring out some of the highlights and give it just a little bit different look and a little bit more depth. Laying all that aside, I'm going to move on to her portrait. Now, I've done this the same way on several of my videos, and I'm just going to skip through this just for the sake of time on my video, so it don't make it real super long. But I am kind of going to talk you through it. First, I took a Magus Purple by Citadel and painted inside of her teeth just to give her gums a little different color than the inside of her mouth. And then I took a brown and come back and painted her eyebrows, because you don't want the eyebrows the same color as the hair. It just looks a little weird. And brown's always a good choice when you have blonde hair. And then after I done that, I come back with some black and I painted her eyelashes. And now it brings us to her teeth. When you paint her teeth, you don't want to use white, because 9 times out of 10 your teeth are not white. And when you paint them, you don't want to paint them solid, because then it just looks weird. But you want to leave little lines in between the teeth, like gaps, just to make it give it more of a realistic look. Instead of having just a solid white bar, you now have teeth. For her lips, they needed to be kind of a fleshy color, but not bright red, but they needed to be red. So I had to mix a scarlet red and a pink together to give me the fleshy look that I wanted and that I was going for. And for her eyes, you don't want to use pure white, because your eyes are not pure white. They're kind of a pale color, and I used a highlight skin tone color for her eyes, and that seems to be the key for the color of your eyes. Now, Michelle Pfeiffer, she had blue eyes. So what you want to do, you want to start off with a dark blue in the center of the eye. Just make sure you put it the direction you want it to go. I took a pencil and dotted my eyes to where I wanted the eyes to be looking at, because you don't want to get them off, because it just will look a little wonky, if you know what I mean. And then you want to come back in the center of that with a brighter blue. But you don't want to paint all of the dark blue up. You want to leave just a little bit of ring around the outside of your blue, just to kind of give it a little bit of depth and 2 colors to your eye. And then for the most important part is the black pupil in the middle. And if you forget this step, your eyes are going to look a little funny. I painted a model one time and forgot to put the pupil, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it until I just got to staring at it, and I'm like, forgot the black. So I had to go back and do it. So don't forget the black. It's the most important part of the eye. And when you get her pupil done, you want to come back with a speck of pure white and put right in the corner of her eye for a specular highlight. And then after you get your hot specular highlight put in, you come back with a clear gloss and put over her eyes and her lips and her teeth to make them look like they're wet. And then before you can call this head done, you guessed it, you still got to do some stitching. So she's got stitches all over her mask, so you have to paint them white to match the rest of her stitches. And then you can call her head done, except for the hair. And with a few little touch-ups after you get her hair glued on, because the glue kind of messed the paint up a little bit, you want to touch it up with the Basilisk Brown, and then you can call this head done. And now it's time to put the model together and see what we got.
Meow.
And here we are again at the end of another video. I would like to thank everybody that has supported me through subscribing. And if you've not done that, now is your chance. Go down there and smash that subscribe button, and like and share, and leave me a comment down below and tell me what you liked and what you didn't like. And maybe you got a little bit of something out of it, just in case you want to paint your very own Catwoman. And don't forget to head on over to My Custom Models on the Patreon page. I'll try to remember to put a link down below in the description, but you should go on over and check her out. She has a bunch of cool stuff. And remember to treat people the way you want to be treated. Until the next time, y'all come back now, you hear?